Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. This is my copy of Space Marine Adventures from Games Workshop. Games Workshop released Space Marine Adventures last year as part of their range of games that appear in bookstores and are intended as easy access points for people who may never have experienced the 40k universe before, or the Age of Sigmar universe, or any other Games Workshop products. They're pick up and play games with easy build miniatures and simple family rules. You can set this game up and play it with the kids, no problem at all. The problem with Space Marine Adventures is that it was pretty much only available in Barnes & Noble in the US, and I believe in certain parts of Germany as well. So being in the UK, I was pretty much originally resigned to not owning a copy of the game. However, I have the best subscribers in the world, and as Christmas rolled around last year, Chris Taylor, one of my subscribers, sent me a copy of Space Marine Adventures, which was absolutely fantastic of him, not least because it actually has become one of my favourite games. And I've done quite a lot of coverage of it on my channel here on YouTube. Fast forward a few months, and one of my other subscribers, John Middleton, sent me some exclusive Space Marine Adventures cards that were only available in America. And fast forward to present day, and Games Workshop have just released 2 new expansions for Space Marine Adventures. They have released the Rescue Mission pack and the Recon Mission pack, and in fact they have also released a set of paints, all of which are Barnes & Noble's exclusives and therefore only available in the US. But I cannot always rely on the kindness of strangers, so I have delved into the coffers and I have actually ordered the products for myself. And they have just arrived. I've just had to pay a substantial sum of money for the fact that they got caught in customs, but they are here and we're going to take a quick look at them now. So here we have the 2 mission expansion packs. We have the Rescue Mission and the Recon Mission with the lovely shiny Barnes & Noble exclusive sticker on the front there. Obviously, I did not bother picking up the paint set because it just has the regular paints in there that you can get anywhere, so I wasn't going to pay international shipping on those. But each of these sets retails for $24.95. You get 3 new heroes, and you get some equipment for those heroes, and you get a new mission. So what I'm going to do separate videos for each of these expansion packs. We're going to look at the Recon Mission pack today, and we will look at the Rescue Mission another day. So here we are looking at the back of the box, and you can see that we have 3 new heroes. We have Brother Gallius of the Hawk Lords, Captain Chokin of the White Scars, and Brother Baku of the Celestial Lions. And all 3 of these miniatures are from Wave 1 of the Space Marine Heroes blind pack range. Different territories had slightly different distributions of miniatures for these Space Marine Heroes sets, but in the UK and the US it was a set of 9, and all 3, like I say, were from that set. This character had a 1 in 12 distribution, I believe, and this one also had a 1 in 12 distribution. However, this one was the rare chaser character, which I think had a distribution of 1 in 36. So he was incredibly rare, and yet here he is waltzing into this expansion bold as brass for anybody to get. So I am very pleased that I did not spend a lot of money chasing him in the blind packs. I already have these other 2 miniatures. I certainly have this miniature because I painted him in another video. In my video on how to paint black armor, I actually painted this particular miniature. Little plug for one of my other videos there. Yeah, I think I've got this one too. But anyway, so you get 3 new heroes from the Space Marine Heroes range. The Space Marine Heroes are designed to snap out of the frames without needing clippers, and they go together without glue because they were originally intended for collectors rather than hobbyists, and now they are obviously in a game which is intended for beginners rather than hobbyists, so you don't need any equipment to assemble them. If you've got clippers and a knife or a mold line remover, that is beneficial. If you're going to paint them, you might want to clean them up a little bit, but they do twist out of the frames, snap out of the frames, and go together without any glue very easily. They are incredibly well made. And then besides those guys, you get the activation cards that you need to activate them, you get their character data cards, You get 6 new special cards, which represent the skills and gear that you can equip them with when they go on their missions. And then we have 2 new mission cards and a challenge card. So quite a lot of different stuff in there. Worth $24.95? I don't know. Maybe so, just for that super rare miniature. But let's have a look inside. So first of all, you have your instruction leaflet, which was actually scrumpled up under the insert for the box. So make sure you don't accidentally throw it away if you buy this, because it is tucked under a cardboard insert. And I nearly didn't find mine. But we have the 3 characters on the front, fully painted, looking lovely. And then we have our simple build instructions. You can see here in the diagram, it shows them being twisted out of the frame and pushed together. And then we have very simple step-by-step instructions to get them ready for your games. It will take a matter of minutes to get these guys assembled. You do not need to worry about the construction of these guys. And then on the back, we have our instructions for incorporating the new mission and the new heroes. Obviously, the new heroes are incorporated in as much as when you pick your team of 4 Space Marines, rather than having just the 5 from the base game, you now have 5 plus the 3 from this mission. So there's no difference there, you just pick whichever combination of heroes you want. And then there are rules for an epic campaign and a legendary campaign. Because what this pack actually does, this Recon Mission pack, is it gives you a level 2 mission. In the base game, you had 3 missions. You had level 1, level 2, level 3. And this mission in this expansion pack replaces the level 2 mission from the base game. So you can play it as a standalone mission. You just set it up and play through it as normal. Or you can actually introduce it into your epic campaign. The epic campaign in the base game was simply playing through level 1, level 2, level 3 in turn with rollover effects of your success in each mission. For example, if Marines died, they stayed dead. The difference here is when you get to level 2, you can choose to play the level 2 from the base game, or you can choose to play the level 2 from this expansion. And then you go on and play level 3 as normal. However, there are also rules for a legendary campaign, and to play the legendary campaign, you also have to have the the rescue mission pack, as well as the recon pack. And when you do a legendary campaign, it actually boosts up the number of missions you do, because first you play the level 1 mission from the base game, then you play the level 1 rescue mission from the other expansion, then you play the level 2 mission from the base game, then you play the level 2 recon mission, and then finally you play the level 3 base game missions. So there are 5 missions in total, so it's a much harder challenge. It ramps up that challenge. So that's really interesting that you can play this as a standalone mission, you can play it as a replacement for level 2 in your epic campaign, or you can actually introduce it as an extra level in a legendary campaign. This game, Space Marine Adventures, does a very good job of providing a very simple, streamlined set of rules, and then introducing layers that you can add to up the difficulty. You can play a standalone mission, or you can play an epic campaign, or you can play this legendary campaign, and then there are actual advanced mode cards that you can introduce. There are challenge cards that you can introduce, all of which add to the difficulty and allow you to tailor the game experience to your group. So if you're playing with young children, if you've got the kids there or whatever, you can ease off the pressure a little bit. And if you're playing with your hardened gamers, you can really stack it on with the challenge cards and things. So it's really good how they've done that. And this expansion really adds to that customization that you can do. But anyway, let's have a look at the 3 heroes, because that's the main draw of this particular expansion, having another 3 heroes to pick from, having those extra options. So you get 3 frames, 1 for each miniature, and you can see that the connector points on these are incredibly thin. And that's because, like I say, these are designed to pop out without needing any clippers. You still have to be a little bit careful, but you just pop and pop like that, and they come off. Like I say, you might want to do a little bit of cleaning on them if you've got the tools to do it, but it's not necessary to get them assembled ready for your games. It's mainly if you're going to paint them, you're going to want to do a bit of cleanup on them. So here we are with our Hawklord, which, like I say, is the miniature that I painted in another one of my videos, which I mention because I'm a shameless self-promoter. Then we have our Celestial Lion in a gold plastic, the same sort of gold that the Easy Build Stormcasts are in. As with all of these miniatures, you always get 2 head options. You always get a helmeted head option, like so, and a bare head option, which is often screaming, "Roar!" I will always use the helmeted head because it makes sense that if you live in the grim, dark future where all is war, you want to wear your helmet because someone's always trying to shoot you in the face. So yeah, those are your options. You always have that helmet or no helmet. And then we have Captain Chokin of the White Scars, who has a few bits punched out of his sprue because before I filmed this section, I was just tinkering with him and I popped a few bits out without really thinking what I was doing and thinking I should be filming that. And again, he has his 2 head options. He has his helmeted head, which looks very cool, and his very stoic, serious, I am a captain head. He's got a plasma pistol and he has a power sword. And he looks very cool. It's a nice colour plastic, that. So we go, 3 heroes. I suppose I should show you the alternate heads on this guy as well. I showed you the alternate builds on the other ones. So you go, you've got, he's screaming too. He's not happy. He's probably lost his helmet, he's in a bad mood. And then you have the helmeted head option. He has the targeting reticule monocle type thing. Makes him look very dapper. Next up we have the cards. First of all, we have our activation cards. 2 for the Celestial Lion, 2 for the Hawklord, 2 for the White Scar. These are used during the game in order to determine initiative. You basically have a deck of cards with 2 initiative cards for each Marine and then several for the enemy. You shuffle them up and then you just flip them over, and whichever card you flip determines who activates. Very straightforward, but nice, oversized, good quality cards. And then we have our character cards. First of all, here we have Brother Gallius. He has range 6 on his attacks and 4 actions. His war gear special ability is bolt gun and bolt pistol. Brother Gallius can perform 1 free attack action in each of his turns, but only against a Necron that is within 4 squares of him. So that's quite cool. He gets an extra attack. We've previously had characters that get extra attacks when they're adjacent to enemies. So this is a character who gets an extra attack when he has range on an enemy. Next up, we have Brother Baku, the Celestial Lion. Again, range 6 and 4 actions, so pretty standard. His war gear is extra supplies. When choosing a special card for Brother Baku, draw an extra card and give him an extra card. Oh, that's cool, because normally you draw 2 cards for a Marine at the start of the game, you pick 1 to keep and you discard the other one. With Brother Baku, you would draw 3 and keep 2. That's massive because special cards can be very powerful. They're one-shot items. You use them once and then they're gone. They're either items or skills. But having an extra one, that makes him a little bit more versatile. And yeah, you can load him up with some extra goodies. And here we have Captain Chokin. He's only range 4, but he has 5 actions. 5 actions is massive. That's the most that we've ever seen. I believe most of the others are 4, and then there's a couple of 3s, but we've never had a 5 before. So that's big. And his war gear, he has the plasma pistol and power sword. And it says when Captain Chokin attacks, you can re-roll the dice if the result is a 1. You cannot re-roll a re-roll. That's pretty massive because he doesn't have to be adjacent, he doesn't have to be at range. It's just whenever he attacks, his 1s get re-rolled. So that's fantastic. He's getting 5 actions, rerolls on his fluffs. He could be potentially very deadly. But what a great character. I can see him getting picked a lot. He is, as you would expect from a captain, quite powerful. And I guess maybe he's being added as an easy mode. Maybe if you're going to go on a legendary campaign, you know you're going to be up against a challenge, you might want to take Captain Chokin along. Just for the extra versatility that actions give, and you know you can never have too many rerolls, especially when you roll like I do. But there we go, those are the characters. Next up we have the special cards. In the base game there were some universal cards that could be used by any Marine, and then there were some that were special cards that were limited to particular Marines. These cards are all restricted to the Marines that come in this expansion, as you would expect. First of all, we have No Matter the Odds. This is for the Celestial Lion. It says, play this card at any time during Baku's turn until the end of the turn, as long as there are more Necron minion counters on the Labyrinth board than there are Space Marines, add 2 to the dice rolls made for Baku when he attacks a Necron. That's pretty big, because quite often there's going to be a lot of Necrons on the board, and more Necrons than there are Space Marines. You've only got 4 Space Marines on the board, and Necrons are spawning every turn, so quite often you're going to be outnumbered. If you get to a situation where the board is getting absolutely flooded, this is your chance to lay down some heavy fire and maybe clear out a corridor, clear your escape route, even the odds a little bit. That's a good card. This is the second Celestial Lion card. It says, play this card at any time during Baku's turn. Until the end of the turn, each time he destroys a Necron, he can immediately perform 1 free move action. That's cool. That's a really good ability as well, because if you can move every time you attack, you can make some ground up. Okay, so this is for the Hawklord, Eagle-Eyed Marksmanship. Play this card at the start of Gallius' turn. Until the end of the turn, treat any Necron he attacks as having a resilience of 1 less than is shown on their data card. That's pretty useful, because lowering resistance is going to help in a lot of situations, and it's particularly going to help if there are certain Necron cards that come into effect that will boost the resistance of the Necrons, and this card will negate that boost, so that's very useful. Swift Striking. Play this card at the start of Gallius' turn. He can perform 2 free attack actions this turn against Necrons within 4 squares of him, instead of only 1. Furthermore, if Gallius performs a free attack action and that attack fails, you can re-roll the dice. You can only re-roll the dice once. Okay, so he's getting 2 attacks instead of 1, and with those extra attacks, he can re-roll his fails. So that's just a good opportunity to lay down some extra firepower with a certain degree of certainty that you're going to do okay with those attacks. That's good. That can get you out of a situation if you really need to push back the enemy, if you're getting crowded or whatever. It's nice to have a little bit more certainty that you're going to be able to pull off some extra attacks and do well with them. And then we have Captain Chokin. It says, leading from the front. Each time he destroys a Necron after this card is played, place that Necron's minion counter on any other Space Marine's data card. The next time a Space Marine with minion counters on their data card takes a turn, return the counters to the reinforcements bag. The Space Marine may make 1 free action for each returned token. Wow. What an amazing card. That's really, really powerful, because that's doing 2 things. When you destroy a Necron, normally you would put it back into the bag and it could be drawn again. But rather than putting it back in the bag, you're putting it onto a Space Marine data card, which means you're keeping it out of the spawn pool. So if you focus on destroying the more powerful enemies, the ones that you don't want respawning straight away, you actually make it less likely that they're going to spawn, because you keep them on the data card until that particular Marine activates. So less powerful enemies in the bag means you're more likely to draw the weaker enemies. So that's fantastic. I mean, obviously, it's a double-edged sword, because if you destroy weaker enemies, then you're actually increasing the likelihood that you're going to draw more powerful enemies from the bag. Either way, you're keeping things out of the bag, which then also converts into extra actions. If you've got 1 Marine who really needs a lot of actions to clear out some Necrons from a corridor, clear the way to victory, stack all those extra Necrons onto that Space Marine. He gets a whole bunch of extra actions. Use it in conjunction with another special ability that gives him a bonus on his attacks for that turn, say rerolls or whatever. And you can really do some damage. And finally we have Blade Master, again for Captain Chokin. Play this card at any time during Chokin's turn. Until the end of the turn, each time Chokin attacks a Necron that is adjacent to him, the Necron will be destroyed on a roll of a 2 or more, regardless of the Necron's resilience. That again is very good because you have to be adjacent for it to work, but you roll a 2 or more and it is killed, regardless of its resilience. And of course, Captain Chokin gets a reroll. He gets to reroll his first dice roll if it's a 1. So you've got a very good chance of killing whatever you attack with that particular card. That's fantastic. Both of his cards are incredibly good. Overall, yeah, he's a good character. If you can pick him for your team and then get one of his special cards attached to him, yeah, that's a pretty powerful character that you've got in play. You can do quite well with that, I think. He is, as you would expect from a captain, suitably brutal. Finally, we have the 3 new mission cards. We have the level 2 Recon Mission briefing for when you're playing the game as a standalone game, and then you have the campaign level 2 Recon Mission briefing for if you're playing the game as part of your campaign. They're almost identical, it's only the victory conditions vary slightly. So like I say, this is potentially a replacement for your level 2 mission from the base game. In the base game, the level 2 mission is the same as the level 1 mission. You have to get to a console and activate it in order to find the way out of the maze. This mission gives you something different to do and actually will slightly change how the Space Marines operate for this particular mission. It's quite interesting. It's not a massive change, but it's just enough. Basically, the Space Marines must scan the translocation squares to determine the location of the Necron Overlord before they can make their escape. The Necron Overlord is actually the objective in the 3rd mission. So like I say, normally you would go through 2 mazes, and then in the 3rd mission you would kill the Overlord and escape. In this new mission, you have to actually find him first by scanning translocation squares, which of course are the squares where the Necrons appear. A Space Marine can attempt to scan a translocation square when they are on it, so they have to put themselves in danger, because if a Space Marine is standing on a translocation square when a Necron beams into it, they take damage. If that happens twice, it's game over for that Marine. So they have to be in a precarious situation to do this. But each attempt uses one of their actions. Each time an attempt is made, roll a dice. On a 3 or more, they have successfully scanned that translocation square. Place a damage counter on it as a reminder. This does not prevent minions being placed on that translocation square. Once you would place the 4th damage counter on a translocation square in this way, instead flip all the portals over. One of them will show an open symbol and is now treated as an empty square. Place the stairwell there. Get out to win. So you basically scan 4 translocation squares, it reveals the exit, and then you have to get out. And if you get out, you win. The interesting thing here is that it's a mission that's encouraging your Marines to spread up, to hit those translocation squares and scan them quickly, because this is a game where it is a race against time. It's a race against time because if the deck of Labyrinth cards runs out, it's game over, but also each turn you've got more Necrons arriving and you're fighting a losing battle really. Eventually there will be a point where you can't keep up with the number of Necrons that are arriving, so you have to move quickly. So this is a mission that's encouraging you to spread out to hit those translocation squares, whereas in the base game all 3 missions have a single objective, and that encourages you more to stick together a little bit more, so you can make use of your abilities, keep each other safe, and all focused on getting those objectives. So yeah, it's a minor change. It's not a groundbreaking new mission, but it's interesting enough. It's going to lead to some different strategies in play. I like it. I think it's good. It's also a mission where you don't have to land on a space and roll the dice until you roll a 6. Because I hate landing on a space and having to roll the dice until you roll a 6, which is how you activate the console in the base game missions. It's horrible, and I never managed to roll my sixes. But anyway, yeah, good stuff, and I'm looking forward to trying that out. The final card in the expansion is a new challenge card. The challenges are a deck of cards that come in the base game that if you need an extra challenge, you can just draw an extra one of these, and it's put into play and it's in effect throughout your game, and it's something else to think about. And you can add more challenges if you want a bigger challenge. You can tailor the game to meet your skill level. This new card just says if you are using this challenge and the reinforcement bag is empty when you would have to place a minion counter, the game ends and the result is a loss for the team. So basically you just don't ever want to run out of minions to spawn, so it's just something you have to be aware of. But yeah, it's not the most exciting thing, but it is an extra challenge card. It would have been nice to have a few more challenge cards, but one is better than none. But that is it, that's everything in the expansion. Obviously, the new mission is nice, and I am looking forward to trying it, but the big draw for the expansion is 3 new heroes with 3 new miniatures and the new special cards that you can use with them. But that is it from me for now. If you're interested in seeing me do a playthrough of this new mission or anything like that, please leave comments below. I do read and respond to everything if I can. If you have liked the video, please consider pressing the like button. And if you do not subscribe to the channel, please consider subscribing because it is a massive help. Thank you very much, and hopefully I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye.